Hi, it's Steve Morrison here, and you're listening to Chat with Chaps, chatting Millwall, come rain or shine.
Post-match analysis for Chat with Chaps, where it finished at the Den. Millwall 1, Plymouth, Argyle 0. It wasn't the prettiest game. I don't think it was our best performance, in all honesty, but we got the job done. How many times this season have we come away from games thinking we should have probably got more from it? Today was a game where we probably did enough to win, but it wasn't the best performance. And look, you take it, you move on. But we've beaten a side that I don't think were very good. They haven't won a game away from a home all season, and they've only scored once. And we made it difficult, especially near the end. Plus, should have had a penalty. Don't know. Let's get into it. I'm going to try and do this one a little bit quicker because I just want to get it out. And I just want to try and get it out. We've all got work in the morning, so I'm going to try and get this one done quite quickly. But first of all, it was nice to be back at the Den. I missed the game on Saturday. The boys, Joe, Angelo, and of course Disco Steve did a fantastic job stepping in and better than I could ever do. So well done, lads, and thank you for that. I was away sunning myself. I'm back. So yeah, it was good to be back down the Den tonight. I felt that for a Wednesday night, obviously the crowd's never great, but at times we kind of got up for it. And fair play to Plymouth. I thought they brought quite a few. There were a couple of noticeable absentees from the starting lineup for both sides, actually. No Sissoko for them. He's probably been one of, if not their best players this season. And then for us, no Duncan Watmore. Neil Harris has come out post-match and said that he was missing for positive family reasons, whatever that means. But obviously good that it's positive. We don't need any more bad news. And just to obviously say, thoughts go out to Matt Smith and his family for the tragic loss of their son, and Millwall, as they always do, did them proud and came together on Saturday on the 4th minute. So definitely worthwhile mentioning, as I haven't mentioned it before. So 2 noticeable absentees, and the game starts with a flurry, right? The game starts, and within 30 seconds, they have a shot that's going on target that Saville blocks, and then they're awarded a penalty. Now, I haven't got the benefit of seeing it back. I've seen it live, no replay. I've come straight in and started recording this. Honestly, I don't know if it was a penalty. I don't know. What I do know is it was given offside. I know Wayne Rooney's come out and said it certainly shouldn't have been given offside. And we've now been very fortunate in the last 2 games where there's been 2 penalties. Although the one against Derby wasn't given, it was a certain penalty. And both were given for offside. And arguably, neither were offside. So we've had a little bit of luck. So we could be 1-0 down after a minute. And I have to say, after being stuffed 5-0 by Cardiff have had a real change of their fortunes, haven't they? But after being stuffed by Cardiff 5-0 at the weekend, I felt Plymouth were the better side for the first 15, 20 minutes. However, we do take the lead, arguably against the run of play. Just before this, I want to mention, because I want to mention George Honeyman tonight. George Honeyman was booked on 7 minutes after, I think it was from our free kick or a corner. Our set pieces this season have been diabolical, by the way, both offensively and defensively. As a side note, but George Honeyman takes one for the team, gets booked on 7 minutes. But then we get the goal, which Mr. Honeyman is involved again. So Romain Esse does superbly well, really good pressure. He wins the ball. He then drives with the ball. George Honeyman makes a superb run. I felt in the first half he was actually the only one moving. He makes a superb run. And then he plays a fantastic 1-2 with Romain Esse. Cuts it back when I think everyone in the ground probably thought he was going to sort of put it into the box. He didn't. He cuts it back to Romain Esse, who, cool as you like, slots it into the bottom corner. I think it goes through one of their defenders' legs. We're 1-0 up. I think it was 13 minutes. And did we deserve it? Probably not. But you take it because there's been many a game where we have deserved more and we haven't got it. And I think that's my overall sentiment from tonight. I don't think we played that well. Did we deserve to win? Probably. And for those of you that are interested in stats and XG and all that kind of stuff, that would also lend itself to the fact we did deserve to win today. But it was marginal, and we didn't play that well against a side that I don't think are great, although they've got a lot of attacking options, but we'll talk about that in a moment. So we go 1-0 up. And for me, this is where we should go for the kill, because they must be low on confidence. They conceded early again. They lost 5-0 last time. Haven't won a game away from home all season. What happens? They go down right the other end and almost score. A ball is whipped in, I think, from Morgan Whittaker, who had bags of space in the first half. I don't necessarily blame Joe Bryan, because I thought they were doubling up there, and a combination of Joe Bryan and Aziz needed to sort that. I don't think it was as bad in the second half, but it's a really good whipped ball in. It's right in the middle of Cooper and Tanganga. Neither get there, and Hardy climbs highest and heads it straight at Jensen. Anywhere else, and that's probably 1-1 within 3 minutes of us scoring. So, I felt that that was a real warning sign. But having said that, from that moment onwards, they had a couple of nearly moments in the sort of 40th minute that resulted in a couple of corners. But other than that, and a lot of the ball, particularly down the right-hand side, they didn't really threaten much for the rest of the game. And they made a number of attacking substitutions in the second half, which we'll talk to, including Michael Obafemi, and nothing really happened. In terms of the first half, I don't think much else to call out. I felt the overall game today, I felt we were more direct than we have been. I don't think we necessarily played the football, and a lot of it I felt was due to just the lack of movement up front. George Honeyman, for me, was the only one really showing for the ball. We need to... Mikhailo, 19 years of age, he's going to be some player, but I think we need to try and get him into the game a little bit more. Or he does, whatever way you want to look at it. But again, I thought it was great to see him on the pitch. Neil Harris said in his post-match, that's now 2 19-year-olds both starting today, which is just fantastic. And obviously Daniel Kelly coming on towards the end. A couple of poor free kicks as well, again, in the first half. I mean, when's the last good free kick taker we had? And I'm sure there's a number of you shouting at the screen, well, of course, it's Ian Fleming. But I don't know if he was, really. I'm talking about a proper free kick specialist. When is the last one? Would Sean Williams count? I don't know. Put it in the comments if you can remember the last good free kick taker, because we've been woeful all season. Obviously, the young lad Smith scored in the week against Charlton from a free kick. Maybe he needs to be giving some of our players lessons. But half-time, and then I felt we came out the second half, and the first 10, 15 minutes, I felt we were the better side. And on 51, how we've not made it 2-0, and that would have flattered us, no doubt. But I don't know how Aziz has not scored. So Tanganga plays an outstanding pass through the middle, just sort of cuts through the midfield and the defence. I haven't seen it back. I don't know if it was intended for Aziz, but it was a brilliant ball, and then therefore a brilliant run. Aziz latches onto it, and it's his second touch that lets him down. He sort of ends up, that takes him too close to the goalkeeper. Then his third touch kind of ricochets off the goalkeeper. It then comes back to him. He's sort of scrambling, trying to stay on his feet, and it's cleared away off the line, and just can't get it over the line. And you could see visibly he was gutted, and rightly so, because that would have done him the world of good if he'd have scored that, because he's clearly low on confidence. Reading fans have said that he is very much a confidence player, and I think you can see that. Incidentally, I felt that was Aziz's. I thought that was his best game in a Millwall shirt tonight. I thought he did some really good stuff. He was involved a lot. He was trying to take players on, some half-decent deliveries into the box. So, did some things wrong. Obviously, that being one of them. Gave the ball away a couple of times, but that's going to happen. And I thought it was his best game in a Millwall shirt so far. On the hour mark, Plymouth make 3 substitutions. And look, say what you want about, and we're going to get into this, but say what you want around some of the football that was played today and the fact that the last 10, 15 minutes, it was painful to watch because we were just hanging on against a Plymouth team. But they were able to make 3 attacking substitutions without bringing on Michael Obafemi on the 60-minute mark. That just, whether you rate them or not, these players, obviously Andre Gray, now 33 years old, but, previously a proven championship striker. The amount of attacking players that they have, and at times I thought they looked dangerous, obviously until the final ball. but it just shows you the options that they've got. And whatever you think of Neil Harris, whatever you think of the way we played tonight, we do lack options. You know, you look at that bench tonight, and the only attacking player that he could have brung on other than Langstaff was Imaku. And quite clearly, he doesn't like him. That is obvious. You know, that is clear as day. Don't know why that is. He obviously feels he can't be trusted. But we do lack options, and we desperately need to get some of these bodies back, especially as we also lost Aziz and Essay to injury today. Now, I'm hoping they're both just cramp. Aziz definitely looked like that. Essay, I'm not so sure. But, you know, you lose those. In terms of forwards, wide players, we really lack options. And I don't know whether this was a subtle dig from Mr. Harris after the game, but he talked about having Watmore, Honeyman, and Essay, and they're all number 10s, not wide players. He clearly referenced number 10s in his post-match, and I don't know whether that is, again, a dig to say that he needs more wide players. Don't know. We have another half-decent chance from a corner. Ryan Leonard turns, swivels, and his shot goes narrowly wide. Obviously, then Aziz goes off, as I mentioned to, and we just look really narrow. Cooper then gives a stupid free kick away where Whittaker, it's miles out, comfortable save for Lucas Jensen. Then we make two changes. Daniel Kelly and Macaulay Langstaff come on for Ivanovic and Denor. The Denor sub baffled me a little bit. The only thing I can possibly think of is, you know, they have all this data and these stats. It showed that he was more tired than Saville, because on the eye, Saville looked more tired and he was carrying a book in. But that's the sub that is made. They bring Obafemi on to a round of boos. I don't know what I think of the booing for Obafemi. I know we boo former players. It doesn't matter who you are, but did he really play enough for us to warrant a reaction? I think almost by giving him a reaction, you're almost probably giving a player like Obafemi that he wants. It's interesting how he can't even get into the first 6 options in Wayne Rooney's Plymouth side. I think that says a lot about his character and why Harris probably didn't sign him, which is interesting. Essay then goes off injured. He sort of does something near the touchline, tries to carry on, and then ends up going down in a heap. Danny Mack came on, which again just showed me how much he just did not want to put on Idemo and Maku. We go to a 5. And then for the last 10, 15 minutes, it was an awful watch. You know, it was us basically just clinging on. It was defense versus attack. It was poor to watch. And you just knew if they scored just how sour the atmosphere would have turned. And I'm just so glad it didn't, because the effort levels of the players wouldn't have deserved that. And for me, I think we have a group of players, I think, even when the whole squad is fit, I still think is a bottom half championship squad. I think I love Neil Harris. I've said that openly. I think we've probably got a bottom half championship manager in terms of ability. So really, can we expect much more? Probably not, right? I think the challenge is that we've got a threadbare squad and we've possibly lost just 2 more. Having said that, I'm hoping that it could either pave the door for Idemo or Watmore is back for the weekend, and who knows, one of Coburn, Mayer, Bradshaw, etc. could also be available. But we're hanging on for the last 10, and then again, I haven't seen it. I need to see it again. But corner, I don't know if this is the corner where the referee changed his mind. He gave a goal kick. The player went down looking for a penalty, wasn't given. He gave a goal kick and then he changed his mind. I don't know if it was a linesman or whatever. But the ball comes over, and again, Jensen, he just doesn't fulfill me with confidence. I think he was claiming a foul, but it's just for me, Jensen, it's been one of those where, other than the Watford goal, which was the free kick, which was clearly his fault, I don't think you can look at any goal and say it was his fault. You can look at other goals and say he could have done better. But the big thing for me is he just doesn't fill me with confidence in terms of command in his area. He's a big 6'5" bloke, or 6'6", whatever he is, and he needs to do more. And he sort of come out trying to catch it like this, like a shovel, like with his arms below his sort of his arms in line with his elbows, and that's almost I used to be a goalkeeper when I was a kid, and that's almost the first thing they teach you. You know, you claim the ball at its highest. So look, he doesn't fill me with confidence, and George Saville and Ryan Leonard certainly made sure they let their feelings know to him after that. For those of you that may or may not have seen it, but we hold on. And look, I'll say it again. You know, it wasn't the greatest performance in the world. We've beaten a side that I think are definitely going to be in the bottom six, despite actually having some half decent players. I thought. So, you know, is it glass half full, glass half empty? We go to Swansea, and I think we need to pick something up, because after that we've got Burnley and Leeds at home. You know, I Swansea away, Burnley at home, Leeds at home. I'd probably take 4 points now. Would I? Yeah, probably would. Would you? But yeah, I think that's about it. In terms of man of the match, I think there was a few candidates for me. I think Romain Esse is an obvious one for the quality that he showed in the goal, some of his flicks. I won't give it to him because I felt at times he gave the ball away needlessly. And he's always going to give the ball away because he's a flair player. But at times I felt he tried to do too much. And, you know, it was a bit, what's the word? At times he was sort of showboating, I felt. And look, I'm a massive Romain Esse fan. I want people thinking, "Oh, what are you talking about, mate?" Like he's clearly our best player. And I'm not saying he isn't. He isn't. But he needs to learn, I think, at times where there was a moment in the second half where I think he turned a player free. It was Whittaker, turned him 3 times out, and he tried to do him a 4th time, and then Whittaker won the ball back and they broke. So for that reason, I'm not going to give it to Esse. I thought Denor had a really good game overall. Odd that he came off. But I'm going to give it to George Honeyman, the man of the match, because I felt he was the one that was creating opportunities for his movement. He's never going to be the best technical player, but he was creating opportunities for his movement. Obviously, that included the goal. He was involved in the goal. Really good pass back to Esse. He was carrying a booking where he took one for the team. It was, you know, Cooper got booked with a stupid foul. Brian got booked with a stupid foul. I felt that Honeyman's was like the only one that was like just, he took one for the team. He played in, I think, at least 4 different positions throughout the 90 minutes, lasted 90 minutes, was hassling constantly. And in a game like tonight where you just got to win, I think he showed exactly what was needed, which was grit and determination, and bounced back from probably not his best performance on Saturday, certainly from what I saw on the TV. So I'm going to give man of the match to George Honeyman. I know Romain Esse got the official one. But we go into the weekend now, hopefully, with a bit of confidence. Away at Swansea, who I think got a draw last night. I'm not sure. And we're now sitting in 13th. It's a bizarre league, you know. It's you win one game, all of a sudden you're in mid-table. I think there's 3 points. It might be 2 separating us from third bottom. The league is crazy. It was like this last season, and I don't expect it to change throughout. You know, the rest of the season. We are, in my opinion, a bottom half championship side. Yes, the XG and facts have showed that that's not the case, but I think when you look at the players and what we have available, you know, I think 13th is about right, in honesty. And one thing that Neil Harris pointed out after the game was we've conceded 5 goals in 9 games with Javan Tanganga in the team, and that's a pretty good return. We just need to score a bit more. Final thing I thought was interesting from Harris in his post-match is he answered the question that I think everyone was asking, which is why you're not playing 2 up top. And his response to that was, when you've only got 2 fit strikers and neither of them can last 90 minutes, you can't play them both. And I found that interesting because why can't Langstaff last 90 minutes? Ivanovic doesn't look injured to me. So I found that interesting. How do you read into that? But anyway, guys, thanks very much for listening. Appreciate it as always. This one's been a little bit more just me splurging information and just sort of giving my opinion as opposed to all the normal stats and things that I pull up. But I just wanted to get something out for today. Might be similar at the weekend because whilst I will do it, I'm away again with the missus. It was a wedding gift, so there's my excuse. I'm not going to Swansea, but I need to try and sort of step out and watch the game and then do the post match. So we'll see how that goes. But listen, thank you as always for listening and watching all of the boys do all the shows. Thank you to all the boys, because this doesn't happen, without them, and certainly doesn't happen without you listening. So thank you all. Look, wasn't pretty, but we won, and we needed that. So enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll certainly be back at the weekend. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.